Welcome back to Wayne's Hot Rods. I know it's been a while since I posted anything. Got a ton of video saved up from racing. Unfortunately, my son hasn't been going, so it's been tough for me to find anybody to video. And he's back in school for the last year. He's a senior this year, so he's got a lot of going on. But anyway, we're here working on the 62 Jaguar Mark II steering box. Owner wants to change the seal, which is here, for the shaft. However, it kind of got blown out of proportion. All the bearings fell out. It's been an absolute nightmare. I've had it apart a zillion times, back together, and it's already fallen apart already. Turn some lights on here. So, in Jaguar's ultimate wisdom, there's a race here and a race on the bottom. Fine. They have roller bearings. And they have, it's on the shaft. And as most of you know, a bearing, can put the bearing, goes on the race, the other piece goes over top it. Typically, they are together. Jaguar, not so much. The book really is not good at showing. It shows it apart great, but how it goes back together isn't. So, and as you can see, the bearings have already come out of here. So it's just got a worm gear that goes up and down, which is great, fine. But the bearings don't stay in the race. I mean, there's just no way for it. Just doesn't go together. I mean, it's like sits there on top of each other. It's the worst design I've ever seen in my life. Not that I've ever done many gearboxes, but I'll tell you one thing: I will never do another one of these, unless somebody pays me a lot of money. So the race is here, such as up here. The bearings just sit in the race. This is the top, bottom, whatever, the other part of the race. I wish I had this one back out. I could show you guys. But the bearings just sit in here. And it just, I don't get it. It just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. You can't put more than 2 or 3 bearings in and have this sit down inside to hold the bearing in, to sandwich it. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. I just don't know. But I got to get the car back together. I'm tired of looking at it. So I'm going to knock this race down in again a little bit further, put the top on it, which is here. I'm going to change the seal, obviously, first, because that's the main issue. Put it back together, flip it over, and hopefully this stays together enough that I can weasel the bearings in between everything in here, and it holds. I mean, really, once that's done, the only thing you do is put the top back on it, which, okay. I don't know what's supposed to hold the bearings in other than a little bit of grease, but what happens when that wears out? And like I say, the book shows a great exploded view, but it doesn't give any explanation how the bearings go back in. So if anybody's ever worked on an older Jag steering box, leave me some messages, because I'm about had enough of this thing. But I want to get the car done. I got to get it in the back here in the paint booth so I can paint the interior. And then we can get the engine and tranny back in it and get working on it so we can fire it up, and at least maybe you can drive it this winter down south. Alright, appreciate you guys watching, hanging in there, subscribing. Like I say, if anybody has any comments or has ever had one of these apart or anything similar to it, that has any ideas for me, please let me know. And I'll shoot a video again if I get it back together totally. Right here, there's just a little bushing. It goes in here, that just slides down in here. This is just the top part where you set the preload and everything. And that's what holds it, just keeps the fluid in. But to hold the bearings in, I just can't imagine it. And I was okay here. I could unscrew it, the worm gear, all the way up, so there was nothing in the way. Bring it back down. Oops, sorry. Bring it back down. But what do you do here? It's not cool. So, all right. Again, appreciate it, everybody, and we'll see you shortly.